Hey guys, it's Joe from eattheplanet.org. Normally I do videos on edible plants, but today I'm going to show you how to make cordage. There's a very fast way that's easy, and the cordage ends up being strong. It's made of strong material. So basically there's one downside. This cordage is going to be out of the inner bark of a tree, so you'd have to damage a tree or use one that you're cutting down to make the cordage. This is white pine. What you want to do is start by stripping off a piece of bark, but make sure you get the inner bark, because that's what we're going to use, the inner bark of the tree. I'm going to show you how to separate it. Once you get started separating it, it's actually pretty easy. Then you can just pull strips down. I got to look at it while I'm doing it, because you want to make sure that you're getting the single biggest pieces you can. You want to get long strips that are attached. There we go. See how if you can get in there and make sure that you're getting most of the inner bark and get most of the outer bark off. That's the first step. So when you do this, you might want to spend more time. I'm going to do it quickly. Okay, there's more inner bark on here you can use. Even this out a little bit. Okay, so the next step is to just take off strips. Again, you want to get the single biggest piece, longest pieces you can get. That's not good. The width of the piece and the thickness of the piece is just going to modify the thickness of the end product. Which can be good because this material is soft and flexible. So having a thicker rope at the end is not necessarily a bad thing, but you can also use thinner pieces and have a thinner rope at the end. So for the sake of time, and also so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to use a thicker piece. Start with the longest piece that you have. I'm going to shave this, try to get this cut in half, because both of these are pretty thick. So this is a little bit sticky, which is helpful depending on what the application is. If you're trying to tie things together, hold things in place, it's helpful because it doesn't slip easily. But when it dries, it's a lot less sticky, so you can use it, if you need something that slips a little bit. Alright, so we'll start with this piece. I like to just start by rolling it. So if you're just tying something and you don't need a lot of structure to the material, you can just tie things right with this. It's just twisted, but it's still strong. It's not very easy to break already. Next step's going to be we're going to make a twisted rope. So the next step's going to be to keep twisting until it buckles somewhere around the center. Alright. Then what you're going to be doing is twisting the individual strands, but spinning the rope together in the other direction. So that's it, started. I already made a few inches. And then when you're ready to add another piece, which would be about now, doesn't matter if it's uneven, you can just add a little more to one side or the other. It's fine to try to keep them about even. If you're using these flat pieces, it's helpful to twist them before you add them on, but if you slice them a little thinner, you probably don't have to do that. Okay, so to add it, what you're going to do, this is where we left off. You're going to add, well, you got a few options here. Probably best to add it this way and put the thicker side on the thinner side. Alright, then you're going to wrap those together. Now if you use longer pieces, obviously you can go a longer distance before you need to add another one. So there we go. In a few minutes we made a cord that's maybe 8 or 10 inches long. It's very strong. That's a good thing about this. It's thin and strong. If you pay more attention to the thickness of the pieces going in, you could make it more evenly distributed, the weight of the material. After you let it dry, here's a thinner one I made before. You can, like I said, you can determine the thickness, how thin or thick it is, You can also do a bunch of thin strands and then braid them or twist them together afterwards. So white pine is one of the strongest, versatile, natural cordage materials that I've seen. And you don't need to cure it, you don't need to dry it, it's strong right now, and it's also going to be strong when it dries. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've learned something. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.